Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the DarkEnergy core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this high-tech, high-fantasy Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition powered role-playing game, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to take a look at two species, the Orcs and the Troglodytes. Let's start with the Orcs. The Orcs are a powerful species of ferocious beasts who were thought to be extinct after a brutal war with the dwarves. It is discovered during the shearing that the Orcs are not only alive, but originate from a world of their own. Little is known about the Orcs' homeworld of Kimon. What is known is that at some point in the ancient past, the noble Orc civilization fell under the sway of demons and have been bound to their hellish overlords ever since. However, a few tribes escaped being enslaved and now live in haunted exile. Kimon is divided into numerous warring shogunates, all vying to sit upon the Jaku throne. Orcs are easily identifiable by their green skin, lacquered armor, wide helmets, elaborate crests, and legendary katana. The mightiest of these weapons are the mythical soul swords, made of the metal Tamahagane and infused with demonic energies. An Orc soul sword can cut through nearly any material. The Orcs have a unique ability called the Psychiku Bond, which allows them to force a psychic connection upon each other and even other humanoid creatures. Using fear and intimidation, an Orc can force their will upon another and bind them as a henchman. Orc armies are comprised of a chain of psychically bonded units that can lead back to the warlord. This allows Orc forces to be commanded nearly instantaneously, across vast distances, all by one individual. The lone drawback to this form of control is that, should the warlord be killed, the psychic backlash stuns all connected troops. Orcs are of medium size and have decent hit points and speed. When it comes to alignment, due to the vast majority of Orcs being enslaved to demonic overlords, Orcs tend towards evil, but they are not inherently evil by nature and can be of good alignment, although this is rare. They also have dark vision and are proficient in the use of katana, nunchaku, medium and heavy armor, thieves' tools, and poisoners' kits. There is a tech level 2 variant to the Orc, the Cyborg. After the shearing, many Orcs embraced human technology and used it to fabricate mechanical upgrades for themselves. These cybernetically enhanced Orcs, or Cyborgs, are a rapidly growing subset of the Orc species. When it comes to the Orc traits and appearance, Orcs have naturally thick muscles and can be anywhere from 5 to 7 feet tall. The Orcs are known for their green skin, red eyes, coarse black hair, and large tusks that protrude up from their lower jaws. Orcs mature faster than humans, reaching adulthood around age 10. They age noticeably faster and rarely live longer than 75 years of age. They are pretty strong, but they also get a free ability augment, but they are pretty low on charisma. There are different Orc races. You have the Green Tribes, which are ferocious, the perfect warriors, strong, fast, cunning, and ruthless. The most populous tribe. There are so many Green Orcs that many other species don't realize that there are other Orc races. Then you have the Red Tribes, also known as Oni. Strangely enough, they are a bit larger and more violent than their green cousins, but they are more focused on wisdom. They are the descendants of ancient green Orcs that mated with demons and have developed into a unique race of Orcs. This doesn't make too much sense when it comes to being larger and more violent, but not as common as warriors compared to the green Orcs. But considering the fantasy elements are quite prevalent in this role-playing game, maybe it's some sort of magical related quirk because of their mating with demons. Then you have the Black Tribes. Stained through countless generations of assassinations and dark magics, they are the most feared and mysterious. They are pretty high in intelligence, so if you wanted to play as a caster orc, this is the choice for you. When it comes to languages, orcs can speak, read and write Common and Orc, of course. Orc is a harsh language that closely mirrors ancient Japanese, and intelligent orcs can actually choose one additional language. When it comes to orc specific traits, you have Menacing. You gain proficiency and an additional bonus in the intimidation skill. There's also Tusk Attack. You gain a bonus action that acts as an unarmed attack with your jaws that deals 1d8 plus strength modifier of piercing damage. Of course, there is also the Psychiku Bond. As an action, you can choose one injured humanoid creature within a certain distance of you and attempt to intimidate it into accepting your control. The creature can resist your bond with either an intelligence or charisma saving throw against your intimidation check. If the target accepts the bond, it becomes your follower and will attempt to adhere to any orders you give it. You always know the creature's location, unless on a different world. This bond is permanent and lasts until you or the bonded creature dies. If you are killed, the bonded creature is still alive. It is stunned for 1 round. You can select this trait multiple times, allowing you to control an additional humanoid creature each time. There's also Blade Master. You can wield 2-handed weapons with 1 hand. And these are just some of the traits of the orcs. Next, we have the Troglodytes. Troglodytes are reptilian humanoids with distinctive spiny crests running down their backs from head to tail and thick furry forearms. Despite their seeming primitive nature, Troglodyte society is one of the oldest of the intelligent species. Their empire once stretched across multiple worlds, and ancient ruins can be found both above and below ground. The Troglodytes were once masters of the many worlds they conquered and kept the other species as slaves. However, as time went on, the Troglodytes stopped innovating and were eventually surpassed by the other species. Today, they are considered barely more than savages by more advanced species. But they still continue with their technological research. It's just that they are very secretive in nature and distrust other species. Religion and magic are the driving forces of Troglodyte society, and each clan is led by either a high priest or powerful sorcerer. Brute strength is a staple for Troglodyte warriors, but it is through intelligence that real power is attained. Demon worship is quite common in their society, although some Troglodytes break from this tradition. Troglodytes remember that they were once the masters of many worlds, and now that the shearing opened the path to more worlds, they seek to be so again. They are pretty low on hit points, they are of decent speed, and their size is medium. When it comes to alignment, they are naturally lawful neutral in their own community, but generally they tend towards chaos and evil when outside Troglodyte society. They have dark vision, and concerning languages, they can speak, read and write Common and Troglodyte. If their intelligence is pretty high, they can choose one additional language. They are proficient in the use of sling, spear, and chemistry kits. When it comes to traits and appearance, a Troglodyte stands about 5 feet tall, weighing about 150 pounds. They resemble lizards. They are usually covered in gray-green scales with thick fur on their forearms. They have large webbed feet and are slightly bow-legged. Troglodytes sport a spiny crest that runs from the top of their head to the end of their tail. A large hairy brow protrudes above reptilian eyes. They usually wear strips of leather that carry a variety of weapons and tools. Troglodytes mature faster than humans, reaching adulthood around age 12, and they live around 50 years of age. They are pretty high in intelligence and dexterity, and get a free ability augment, but they are quite low in charisma. Let's talk about Troglodyte specific traits, such as the chameleon skin. You have advantage on dexterity stealth checks made to hide. You also have stench. Any creature other than a Troglodyte that starts its turn within 5 feet of a Troglodyte must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be poisoned until the start of that creature's next turn. On a successful saving throw, the creature is immune to the stench of all Troglodytes for 1 hour. You also have Claw. As a bonus action, your claws are natural weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strikes if you are unarmed, of course. They do 1d4 plus strength modifier of slashing damage. You also have Hurl Flame. You know the Firebolt cantrip. Charisma is your spellcasting ability for this spell. This is somewhat troublesome considering that Charisma is one of your weaker points as a species. You also have Enchanted Tattoo Artist. You have advantage on all craft tattoo checks. And these are just some of the traits of the Troglodytes. This concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to take a look at the classes of this RPG. I really like the way that the Orcs are handled in this universe. They are considerably different from other settings. The Troglodytes as well. But because Orcs are usually portrayed, at least when it comes to the origin and the continuation of Orcs in classic fantasy, they are usually portrayed as savages and brutes, but here Orcs are they are pretty much samurai Orcs, with mind control powers as well. So that's pretty impressive, and it sounds like a very fun species to play as. Now when it comes to the Troglodytes, it's a nice mix of primitivism, like they belong to these religious cults, but they still develop technology. So they feel a bit like something that you would see in Warhammer 40k or in an apocalyptic or dystopian science fiction setting. So they are going to be very interesting to roleplay when it comes to mixing that new with old sort of cultural conventions. Thank you for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending right through RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you and see you later.